Once upon a time, there was a cheerful and determined girl named Andy who loved baking. Ever since she was little, she would watch her mom bake cookies and cakes, and she dreamed of owning her own bakery someday. She imagined a cozy shop filled with the sweet aroma of freshly baked treats and a line of happy customers waiting to taste her creations. As Andy grew older, her love for baking only deepened. She experimented with recipes, from cookies and cupcakes to pies and pastries. Some turned out amazing, but others, not so much. There were burnt brownies, salty cookies, and even a lopsided cake that toppled over. Andy would laugh and say, "I'll get it right next time." One day, Andy decided to surprise her best friend Emma with a batch of donuts. She had practiced the recipe before and was confident they'd turn out perfectly. But her excitement got the best of her. While mixing the dough, she accidentally poured too much baking powder into the bowl. Thinking it wouldn't make much difference, she baked the donuts. When the timer dinged, Andy eagerly opened the oven. Her face fell. The donuts were dark, hard, and smelled strange. When she tried one, it was almost impossible to bite into. Andy was devastated. "I can't do this," she said, tears streaming down her face. She locked herself in her room, feeling like a failure. Maybe baking isn't for me, she thought. Her mom noticed Andy's disappointment and knocked on her door. "Andy," her mom said gently, "I know you're upset, but remember, mistakes are part of learning. Even the best bakers have had disasters in the kitchen." "But I ruined it," Andy sobbed. "I'll never be good enough." Her mom smiled and sat beside her. "Do you know what baking teaches us? Patience. It's not about rushing or being perfect the first time. It's about learning, one step at a time. Let's try again together." Encouraged by her mom's words, Andy agreed. Back in the kitchen, her mom guided her through each step of the donut recipe. This time, they measured the ingredients carefully, mixed everything slowly, and waited patiently for the donuts to bake. Andy's eyes lit up. When they pulled the tray out of the oven, the donuts were golden, fluffy, and smelled heavenly. She took a bite and grinned. "These are perfect," she exclaimed. From that day on, Andy approached baking with a new attitude. Instead of fearing mistakes, she welcomed them as lessons. She practiced daily, experimenting with flavors and techniques. Slowly, word spread about her delicious treats. Neighbors started placing orders for her cookies, and soon, she was baking for birthday parties and celebrations. Years later, after saving every penny she earned, Andy finally opened her bakery. She named it Andy's Sweet Creations, a name that reflected all the hard work and love she had poured into her dream. Andy stood proudly behind the counter. On the opening day, watching as customers filled her shop. Emma was the first to buy a box of donuts, and Andy's mom beamed with pride. "You did it, sweetheart," her mom said. Andy's bakery became the most popular spot in town, and she eventually hired a team to help her keep up with the demand. Whenever a customer complimented her treats, she would smile and say, "Each recipe has a story, and every mistake has made me better." Moral of the story: mistakes aren't failures, they're lessons that guide us toward our dreams. With patience, determination, and a little help, every mistake can become a stepping stone to success.